we are going to start is the elements of learning in instructional design. So if I would say that the instructional design is something which is based on the learning theories, how not only learning theories, the actual process of learning, how learning happens in real world. And if you talk about simulating it into the computer based environment, and the computer based environment can be on a laptop, desktop, mobile, on a simulator, or in a classroom session also. So what is the first thing that is important is that there should be a drive for learning, which I want all of you to relate it to your learning experiences. And you can relate it to this learning experiences of, enrolling in this course. You have a drive. What is the drive that you want? Someone wants a certification, someone wants to learn storyboarding, someone wants to learn a little bit about tools, someone wants to learn how to get better in the profession. So there is a drive for everyone. And there will be some stimulus, and there are cues like, okay, what I want to do, I want to learn about e-learning, instructional designing. And then you started finding, where can I find this? Then you landed up on some institutes pages, and then you chose this one based on your requirement. And then you start learning, you start giving responses to that. Then the learning process is designed in a way where the learning is reinforced so that it is retained for long term. Then the learning is designed in a way which gives rewards so that you feel motivated to learn. So these are like five what do you say, uh, building blocks for any learning. We have this learning process diagram which shows how we reach to a learning thing. So there is a need or a drive, as I said, which leads to a wants, which is combined with stimulus and cues, and to produce response, and which receives reinforcement, satisfaction, dissatisfaction, whether you will like the learning or you will not like the learning, based on your experience with the learning process. And it will lead to learning. So now this reinforcement and the process of learning will lead to learning, and the quality of learning will depend how the environment was, it will depend on a lot of factors, your surroundings, your emotional state, how was your previous learning experience, whether it was new or something you already knew, whether you were interested or not. All these things will decide. Now we have something called as the phases of learning. Phases of learning, when you mm, put learning as a process, then there are four phases. One is why, what, how, and now what. Like, why you set the context and help the learner bridge the prior knowledge and the new knowledge. And you then you produce the actual learning thing, where you have concepts, procedures, processes, and principles. And you also provide opportunity for using that newly acquired knowledge. And this knowledge now has to be applied in your real life. Like, now I have got this information, all this knowledge. What will happen when I go out of this class and apply this? So suppose you will learn about storyboard in this course. So what will happen after the course is over? You want to use that knowledge and the skill that you learned to be applied in your profession. So here is let me just close this. Okay. So here is a infographic which talks about the four phases of learning cycle. You set the context, like in this course you are going to learn so and so things. Then there will be information display in the form of videos, audio, and activities. And then there will be some, knowledge check where you will ask learner about simple questions or concept based questions where they will apply the knowledge. And then you can also give the participant how to use this thing in outside. So you may give some kind of project for them in the end to develop whatever they have learned. Okay, so we have very famous Bloom's taxonomy and Kirkpatrick's training evaluation model. So, as we'll first look at the Kirkpatrick's training evaluation model. So as the name suggests, it is not a instructional design model in the sense how to build something. Okay, it is about how to evaluate your training. And I think Chetan yesterday mentioned about it that he uses Kirkpatrick's training evaluation model. Right, Chetan?
Yes, yes.
Right. So this is something which is practically used, and it's simple to understand, and people are using it. So what is it in Kirkpatrick's evaluation model? It talks about four things, which is number one is reaction, the learner's emotional response to the course. Okay, and this is not about building the course; it is about evaluating how the learner's emotional response was for the course. I felt happy, I did not like it, those kind of things. Number two is how effectively the learner obtained information from the course. This is about the course content, the how the course was designed, was the content relevant, everything related to the course. Third is the behavior. Determine if the training makes an impact on day-to-day behavior. So, did the training make any change in the behavior of the person? Was it effective? To what extent it was effective? Do they need something more than this? All those things will be evaluated over here. And the results. This is at the fourth and the last thing is the bigger picture. Like we did all the training and did it impact my business? So it is more in the terms of, profit. Is my business going to get profited by, uh, doing this training, spending so much on the budget, on developing the courses, making employees do the course, taking them out from their work. So calculating the business impact of the initiative. So this is about Kirkpatrick's model of evaluation. So you have to remember that it is about evaluation and it is not about design. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone who's using this. So here is an example how this can be done practically. So to measure the reaction, you can do pre and post training surveys. You can have generated reports and course rating you can have from the learners that will tell you how the course was. And the learning, you can have pre and post training tests. So this will test the training part of it and the peer observations. Behavior part you can do via observation, job checklists. And I think behavior part is difficult to measure, so it needs a lot of effort from the supervisors. Then you have the results part. You will have the metric reports, the surveys, and the job checklist. How was it effective or not, and how, to what extent it was effective. Then comes the Bloom's taxonomy. So, anyone who knows about Bloom's taxonomy, can you just share what you know? Those who have worked or who are already working in e-learning, instructional designing, or content creation, they must be knowing about it. So, can you just share your take on it? Hello? All right, I'll go to the next thing. So, Bloom's taxonomy, as we saw that it is still valid and it was started in 1965 by Benjamin Bloom, and it talks about different levels at which learning happens, and we use it to write objectives. So, I'll get a better picture of Bloom's taxonomy, and the current one, which is used nowadays, is 1 second.
Hi, Bharti.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Um, for this evaluation model, is there anything apart from Kirkpatrick's also?
There must be. I don't know about it because I have not done training evaluation. I have been in the creation part. So we need to check if there are some other models which are used.
So there,
Chetan, do you have any input for this?
so there are different models. Kirkpatrick is the famous one. There is one more called as the Phillips ROI methodology,
Okay.
and there is something called a CIPP model also. But most of it, once you start using it or you put any objectivity, you will get to know whether it works or not. So basically, I've been using only Kirkpatrick, and that, to be very honest, we have never reached to the level 4, which is ROI. So ROI is where you calculate the entire investment against what returns you got for that. So that is something which is very difficult, I feel, in our scenario to achieve. But in some things where there is a sales related thing or numbers related thing, where you can achieve that thing pre-training and post-training, it is quite possible.
Yeah. So what this course has put in material is the most widely used and known things.
Yes.
Because if you go to see models and theories, there will be too many, and we cannot know about them. We cannot, keep abreast with all of them. So if you are interested, you can read more about it. And practical use, I don't know how many of them are used practically. So it's like science. There are too many theories, and they keep on evolving. So we have right now I have this Bloom's taxonomy which has been revised, and so this is the different levels of knowledge. Like the very basic one is remembering. Then we go to understanding. Third level is applying. Fourth is analyzing. Fifth is evaluating, and sixth is creating. So creation is the highest level of any knowledge. Like once you grasp anything, and you will go through all these stages, and then in the end you will create something. So for each, what Bloom's taxonomy has said that what the student can do, can the student recall or remember the information? So if your motto is to just teach the student to recall or remember the information, then what words you will use to write the objective? Okay, so these are the corresponding examples. Like you just want the student to remember some names of cities. So you will write, list the names of so and so cities, or state the name of capital of Maharashtra, like that. Okay, so this is how you will write the objective. Now, if you move to the higher level, which is understanding, you want the student to understand certain concepts. Then, can the student explain ideas or concepts? Then, how you will write objective for that? You will use words like this: explain, classify, describe, discuss, report. You will use these words, and then you will make your objective. Third is the applying. Can the student use information in a new way? So you will state your objective using these sample action verbs. These are called as action verbs. You will ask them to write an essay on so and so things. So when the student is writing an essay, he is applying some knowledge to a new concept. Analyze. Can the student distinguish between different parts? So is he using his analytical ability? Okay. So For that kind of objective, you will use these kind of action verbs: discriminate, differentiate, distinguish. Next comes the evaluation level. Can the student justify a stand or a decision? So you remember we were asked justify your answer. So this is the thing. So over here you will ask the student in the objective like appraise, argue, defend. You will use these words which will match evaluating the student knowledge. The last one is create. Can the student create a new product or point of view? Okay, what do you think? You write what are your thoughts about some new concept or design. So he has already learned about something and you want his point of view, so he has to go through all these phases. Okay, he has to remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and then create his own thinking. And the objective that you will write will be using these action verbs like create or design or develop or formulate or write. Okay, so we next, it's only 15 minutes. I think we'll have to continue this. This is very heavy session. Next, we'll continue from in the next week from I think slide number 15. I'll cover these. So we come to learning theories. What do we mean by learning theory? Learning theories are abstract frameworks that describe how knowledge is received and processed during the learning experience, and it informs the application of instructional design through models. So it encompasses the psychology of learning, and then it tells how to teach using that psychology. So the elements of learning theory are all of them will talk about motivation, that there is some need for learning. It will you will need some stimuli to direct your motives. Instead of consumer, think about learner. And then the learning will happen, and there will be reinforcement, that the behavior will be repeated. That if you learn something and you give a reinforcement, and then you want that learning to last for longer.